You guys, welcome back to the Kai the Veil channel. Once more, another episode. We have an interesting one. People in China are pretending to get married. Shout out to BBC for covering this story and having these two lovely hosts on the show. It's just crazy because, in these cultures, a lot of these young people go out their way to please their parents. It's like it's all about pleasing their parents and not their significant other. But let's roll the clip and see what's going on. The hottest trend right now.
Have you ever imagined who you'll get married to? Is it someone from work? Is it your schoolmate? Maybe from an app as well? We know that's on the rise. But here's a plot twist. What if your future partner isn't someone who's the love of your life, but instead someone you've buddied up with to appear married, but in reality you actually live quite separate lives? That's what we're getting into in today's episode. We're hearing why more young people in China are choosing to say I do to marriage buddies. I'm Ikra Farouk and this is What's in the World from the BBC World Service. And I'm with Wanqing Zhang from the BBC's Global China unit, who is the woman who knows all about this. Hey Wanqing.
Hi.
I want to talk to you about marriage buddies. That term, can you just break it down for us? What does it actually mean? What does it involve?
So the term marriage buddy actually comes from the bigger trend of the buddy culture in China. So in recent years, it has been very popular for young Chinese people to search for a buddy on social media. And that's to say, if you want a companion in your life, if you are into running, you want to find a running buddy. If you want to travel, you can find a travel buddy, or if you want to go to exhibition with.
I mean, you could find all that in social groups on Facebook and a few other platforms. Meetup.com, that's one of them.
And so...
Okay, she cute. Well, I shouldn't do her eye like that. There we go. Now, that's what a wife is supposed to look like. But instead, these are y'all's women that you think should be your wife. Got the bull ring, the tattoos, the colored hair. This is the average person's ideal wife right here. No, it's actually this. Not bad looking, clear skin, everything. I'll wife it up. Not on no pretend shit, but for real shit.
The idea of marriage buddy actually is, for me, is like an extreme version of this buddy culture. Because traditionally speaking, when we talk about marriage, we're thinking that this is a relationship that is probably one of the most private or intimate one. But in this marriage buddy relationship, you will see couples will have clear separate division of their life. So for example, they will split their finances and their friend circles quite separately.
So basically, with these pretend marriages, no bonded accounts, no shared banking accounts. Nope, all y'all finances is private. But who's paying for the meals and the dates out and everything?
They might not even live together under the same roof. They might not have intimate actions. So yeah, it's more like...
Another form of prostitution. Well, not even prostitution, but more on the escort side. So basically, this generation is something else. It's like as time goes on, a lot of people don't want to have kids, get married, or settle down. That's the word, settle. Nobody wants to settle because most people know that they're going to end up with somebody that they don't want. But at the same time, families are pressuring their children to get married, have kids. Some of them want to be grandparents. So you can always just make up a lie and pretend that you're going to get married or be married to somebody.
A relationship with a lot of boundaries and distance.
Okay, so we'll get into some of the reasons why some people are choosing to take this route of finding a marriage buddy. But we've actually got a hold of someone. I know you've been talking to someone who's in the process of finding a marriage buddy for themselves. This is Linda. Let's have a little listen.
I
was raised by my grandfather, and now he's not in great health. He said one of his biggest wishes is to see me get married while he's still alive. I have lots of friends in my life, so I don't usually feel lonely or bored.
And that's good for her. So that means that, she has a balance of hobbies. She probably likes to travel and everything. And see, that's the thing. Like, for people that are older, like 35 and up, it's important to be obsessed with like hobbies, and not just the gym, but just overall traveling and working out, being that most millennials, they're making more money than what their parents were making at that time. But mind you, the cost of living was way lower at the time too. It's almost the same, minus nowadays people are more on the selfish side, and they want to just, live life alone and just do whatever they want when they want, without the extra burden of dealing with somebody else's family.
I actually feel quite happy and fulfilled living alone. But because of the traditional expectations, the pressure from family and society, they think I've reached the right age and to get married. Since I want to fulfill my grandfather's wish, I was looking for someone around my age with similar needs so that we can help each other. For the past 3 months, every day I would receive direct messages from men who want to be marriage buddy, and I've met some of them. When I met the 5th person, I felt I found a good match. Right now we have made some agreement. We will stay financially independent, we won't live together, and won't share daily life together like a conventional couple. And since his parents also live in another city, we will both make time to look after each other's families when needed. For me personally, I don't want to invest all my emotions just into one person. I don't think it's necessary to share every hobby or interest with a single partner. Like, I can play badminton with someone who enjoys badminton. I can go out for dinner with someone who loves food. Every hobby or interest can be shared with the right person. It doesn't have to come from just one person.
I mean, you can't get everything from one person. That's the thing. That's why a lot of people want to test out all their options, because they don't want to just give their all to one person, because they know they could get things, whatever they can't get with you, they're going to get it from other people. Meaning you're not going to like everything that your significant other likes. And if she can't do that with you, she's going to find somebody else to do it with. So I guess that's fair. That's why a lot of people don't want to, quote unquote, settle.
To be honest, it's really hard to meet someone who matches you perfectly in terms of interests and lifestyle. People in our generation are more individualistic, so lots of us don't want to be tied down by a traditional marriage where we often see 2 people get stuck together with all those family dramas. We don't want to add unnecessary fire to our life.
So, those are some of Linda's reasons for finding a marriage buddy.
She forgot to leave out that most people are toxic, so that's another reason as well. People don't want to deal with other people's toxic traits. Not only the other person's toxic traits, but the family from the significant others as well.
I want to touch on that a little bit. What sort of reasons are young people choosing to take this route?
I would say the most direct motivations for young children to find a marriage buddy is the pressure from the parents. As you can see from what Linda said, that she wanted to find a marriage buddy as soon as possible because that was the last wish of her grandfather. And it's actually, culturally speaking, it's very, very, very common for the older generation to believe that once you hit the age of 30, you are supposed to get married and you're supposed to have children, and then, sort of building up your stable life. But the thing is that for the younger generation, getting married is no longer a priority for them. And that's because, especially after the post-COVID economy, that China's economy is struggling, and there is this very high unemployment rate among young people.
Baby girl, it's like that in all first world countries. China's a large country, which means there's more millionaires in China than it is America and Russia alone. So, places like Korea, Japan, all these first world countries, they struggle with the jobs. A lot of people are underpaid. And then the takeover of AI. That doesn't make things no better. So we have all these people that are like, okay, they're supposed to get married, start a family, be a provider, very masculine man, no matter what. You pay for everything. People just don't have the money like that.
And at the same time, especially if you live in big urban cities, you have to cope with this high cost of living. So It's already stressed enough for a lot of young people to live alone, and let alone all those family commitments, responsibilities, and so that's why a lot of Chinese young people, they don't want to get married nowadays. And then we can see their reluctance in data as well. So China is actually experiencing the lowest marriage rates in decades since 1980s, and at the same time we are seeing also the rising divorce rate as well as the declining birth rate. And another factor, I think.
Let's take a look at this chart. This is China based. The birth rates has fallen in recent years. So from 1978 to 2023, that's a long span. So we're going to round it off to 1980. The one-child policy took effect in 1979, all the way up until 2016. Okay. Wow, that's interesting, right? It was just too many people at the time. China, it's just too many people. Let's just be real.
Chinese young people are really choosing this marriage buddy is also because that we are talking about people who were born in the 90s, which means they were born under China's one-child policy. So that means they grew up being alone and then doing whatever they want, having this free life without, sharing your life with other people. But then I will say, how do they actually cope with this stress from their parents? Like in Linda's case, I think then they come up with this marriage buddy idea that is sort of like a compromise or middle ground for them, that on the one hand they can continue with their happy single life, on the other hand they can just be a good child to their parents.
Okay, so just to get this right, they don't actually get married, it's all for show to please the parents, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Would you say this is quite a popular route people are taking in China at the moment, or?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a trendy one, that when I was searching the word marriage buddy on Chinese social media, Redbook, I have seen a lot of posts by people, by young people across China who talk about their self and then talk about the criteria they are looking for their marriage buddy. And I wanted to add that social media plays such an important role into this marriage buddy trend. Because the algorithms just make it so easy and simple for someone to find a marriage buddy. And if you think about it, it's fascinating that the day before you were just two strangers online, and then the next day you're talking about marriage, which was Linda's case.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's a little weird. That's where things get a little weird.
I guess in that case, if you choose to find a marriage buddy and you found one, would you share that with your parents, like how you guys met, or is it something that's a bit more hidden?
I would say it's definitely something more hidden, because we talk about the stress and the pressure from the parents. So the idea that a lot of people choose to have marriage buddy is because they wanted to make their parents happy. And of course, this is something that you probably need to hide from. Otherwise, they will think that you are being tricky with them. So it's this very nature of performative relationship that is really pushing the young people to find the marriage buddy.
Performative relationship, and I guess performative kind of marriage. But what about the actual practicality of that? Does that come with some legal benefits of doing this? Just talk me through that a little bit.
So most of the people that I've seen who are looking for marriage buddy on social media, they pretty much all mention that they do not want to get the documentation down. They will mention that, we will have the weddings and we will, go out together to family gatherings, but we don't want this kind of documentation. And that's because, again, the very nature of this marriage is pretty much because of the societal pressure, and what they really want is the no string attached relationship, that they can get out of it very easily, and that's why a lot of them choose to not have the marriage certificate.
Get out of it very easily. So, like, what if there's a case where I'm in a marriage buddy relationship, but then I fall in love with someone else? What happens there? Should I get divorced, or what are you seeing happening?
So for Linda's case, what she told me is that she already agreed with the marriage buddy that if one of them, first of all, they are free to date whoever they want, and
It's a waste of time. Let's just get to the bottom line. That like what's all because of what your elders think. These are just a societal norm is to get married and start a family, but not everybody's gonna do it.
They're free to have any intimate relationship with anybody else
While still in the marriage.
while still in the
Wow,
marriage
okay.
relationship. And if one day they really falls in love with someone else, or there's any other issues that they want to break the marriage, it should be very easily that they have agreed this before, that this is something that they should get it done very easily.
Wow. It's a big lie for your parents, isn't it?
I would say it's more like a white lie
Yeah.
that you are being a good child.
We know this is happening in China. What about other countries? Is something like this happening there too?
I heard that in Japan there is this new trend of a new marriage that is called a friendship marriage. So instead of marrying a true love, you ended up marrying one of your friends, and then you could share in the same household. You can help each other.
I mean, they're still gonna feel a certain type of way if they're in this pretend marriage, and one of you are seeing other people outside of the regular agreement. You're still gonna feel a certain type of way. I still feel like jealousy and everything's gonna be there, just as if you two were in a real relationship. So, how long? Like, this isn't no different than friends with benefits. And have you noticed that nothing sexual was explained in this whole clip? So, do you guys still sleep together, sleep with each other? Do you guys spend the night over each other's place? Like, what's the deal? Being that most young adults still live at home past the age of 30, that's probably not even possible. I mean, most guys and women in their 30s can't afford a one-bedroom unit on their own. That's just not here in America. That's over there too, Japan and China. So
You can live together, do all those shared interested activities together, but you don't have this intimate relationship. I think that's interesting, although they have some similarities, that you are team up with someone who is not the romantic lover of your marriage. There is this difference, and I think the difference is really much because of the social media, because as we have seen Linda's example, she literally received every single day DMs from strangers wanting to team up with this marriage buddy thing, and then she had to meet for the fifth one, and then until she found a good buddy. I think it's really this stranger to lover relationship that is really distinctive in China's context.
Interesting. I was just having a think of some of the reasons that you mentioned there. And it did kind of strike me, you know, some people might choose to do something like this to hide their sexual orientation as well. Is there evidence of that happening in China?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, for China's LGBT community, it has been practiced. It has been practicing in decades long that lesbians and gays, they couple together and they get married, and then they go to the parents together, say, oh, now we are married, to hide
hear
their
about lavender marriage.
yeah,
I've heard quite a
exactly,
lot, yeah.
to hide their sexual orientation. But for
I mean, really, that's the only thing beneficial out of these pretend marriages. This will work out perfect for people that are trying to hide their sexual identity. This will work out better than them instead of heterosexual people. I don't think this will work out well for heterosexual people, but for people that like the same sex, this will work out better for them, I think.
young people who we are talking about today, is not about the necessity. They can still fall in love, but the thing is that they choose not to. They choose to, to give up this to give up this romance and true love fantasy. And I think, again, it really tells about how today's relationship has significantly changed among the young generation, that they don't see love as luxury, as something that you should earn for or waiting for. They see something that, oh, I don't need to have it. And if I have someone who shares the interest with me and I can have a lot of buddies in my life, why do I need love?
Especially if you only want one thing. Most guys only want one thing, so they already know where to get that one thing. Even if they have to pay for it, they rather go that route versus settling for one person and having a headache all the time. Both of you get fat. The sex just isn't exciting anymore, and then you end up doing shit, going to the strip club behind her back anyway. So what? It's like both of you guys are doing fuck shit. She's on OnlyFans, and you're at the strip club. Win-win.
Love has taken on a whole different meaning.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming and explaining all of that to us. Really appreciate it.
And that's the clip right there. That was pretty interesting though. But yeah, I already knew about the friendship marriage in Japan, which is interesting as well. But I'm like, okay, like what are you avoiding? Are you avoiding intimacy or are you avoiding spending money? Like what's the deal? It's just all a waste of time. I mean, you might as well just keep having fun. And as for men, as a passport, bro, you really don't need to do a pretend marriage. Like what the fuck? I don't know. Anyway, this is Kyle Gavale. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hope you enjoyed this. Shout out to BBC World Service, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.